Welcome to the Portly Island Boy YouTube channel. My name is Ariel, and in this episode we're breaking down Romance Dawn, the first volume in One Piece's East Blue Saga. Before we start, I want to remind everyone to give this video a like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. We want to get that YouTube recommendation algorithm going, so if you're a fan of One Piece, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time I post a new video. With the formalities out of the way, let's recap and review One Piece Volume 1. One Piece opens up with a high-profile execution of a man named Gold Roger, the Pirate King. We're told that Roger is a violent and power-hungry man who spent his life terrorizing the world. Before he dies, Rogers gives a speech. "My treasure? Why, it's right where I left it. It's yours if you can find it, but you'll have to search the whole world." With that, Roger is killed, and the world is inspired to find the Pirate King's ransom. The great era of piracy has begun. The scene shifts to a small town that serves as a base for a pirate crew led by a man named Red-Haired Shanks. We also meet a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy is a local kid who has taken a liking to Shanks and his merry band of pirates, so much so that he constantly asks to join the crew. In an attempt to prove his toughness, Luffy stabs himself in the face, leaving a scar that will follow him the rest of his life. Despite these antics, Shanks and crew remind Luffy that going out to sea is much more than being mentally tough enough to injure yourself. Pirates have responsibilities. Things like stealing, violence, drinking, and most notably, swimming, which is something Luffy cannot do. Regardless, Luffy is keen on proving to this fun bunch of brigands that he is worthy enough to take out on the seven seas. "I've got a punch as strong as a pistol," he proclaims. The festivities are interrupted when a group of mountain bandits show up, led by Higuma the Bear, a wanted criminal and murderer of 56 men. The good news is that the bandits are just looking for drinks. The bad news is that the pirates drank it all. An unamused Higuma proceeds to make a mess of the bar, humiliating Shanks in the process. The red-haired pirate brushes it off and takes the abuse, even offering to help Makino, the bar owner, clean up. After the bandit leaves, Shanks and his crew laugh off the incident like it's no big deal. Luffy can't believe that a man would let himself be humiliated like that. What comes next is set to change Luffy's life forever. Shanks grabs Luffy's arm as the lad tries to walk away, only to discover that the arm has turned to rubber and stretched to an unnatural length. During the commotion, Luffy ate a purple fruit adorned with swirls, the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Sharp readers will notice that Oda put in the panels of Luffy eating the fruit during the chaos. These are known as devil fruits, cursed items that give the eater incredible powers at the cost of the ability to swim. Sometime later, while Shanks is away, Higuma makes his way back into Makino's bar. Luffy attacks the mountain bandit in an attempt to defend Shanks' pride, and the fight goes exactly as you'd expect when one party is a child and the other is a grown man with the 56-man body count. Shanks and his crew show up in the nick of time to save Luffy from his reckless behavior. We then expect to see a gang war break out between the pirates and the bandits, but what we get instead is a one-man army performance by Shanks' crewmate. A scene to tell the audience that these pirates are not to be trifled with. Thanks to a smoke bomb, Higuma gets away with Luffy still in his possession. The bandit makes his way out to sea and kicks Luffy overboard as revenge for the death of his bandits. His victory is short-lived, however, when the villain is immediately eaten by a gigantic sea monster. The monster turns his attention to a drowning Luffy, but Shanks once again comes just in the nick of time to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Shanks glares at the beast, who swims away, seemingly in fear. The bandit is vanquished, the monster is gone, and Luffy is safe, but not without cost. Shanks has lost his left arm. It's this moment where Luffy learns that the sea is a dangerous and unpredictable place, and his actions have consequences. he is not yet ready to experience the world. Back at shore, Shanks is readying his ship to set sail and leave Luffy's little town for good. It's here where Luffy and Shanks depart, but not without some classic taunting. Luffy, in his frustration and excitement, swears to become king of the pirates, and Shanks, with a sly grin, gives Luffy his beloved straw hat with a promise. "You're going to be better than us, eh? Do me a favor. Keep this hat safe for me. This hat means the world to me. Promise that you'll give it back to me someday, when you've become a great pirate." 10 years later, Luffy sets sail in a tiny dinghy with nothing but his wits and a barrel. Before long, a familiar sea monster rises from the depths with some unfinished business. Luffy unleashes a punch 10 years in the making, the Gomu Gomu no pistol. It's here we see Luffy's journey truly begin as he sets out to find One Piece and become king of the pirates. Except he might immediately die in a whirlpool? Somehow, Luffy miraculously survives the whirlpool of death by hiding in a barrel, and he washes ashore on an unknown island. Still in the barrel, our hero is discovered by Koby, a cabin boy who has been unwillingly serving the pirate crew of one Lady Iron Mace Alvida. Alvida is a brute of a woman who wields, you guessed it, an iron mace. She mistakenly thinks that Luffy is a pirate hunter set to claim the bounty on her head. Koby, on the other hand, is a cowardly but idealistic kid who has had the misfortune of accidentally boarding Alvida's ship. He has lofty dreams of someday joining the Marines, but is paralyzed with fear. Luffy and Koby kinda hit it off, and Koby's inspired by the rubber man's ambition to become king of the pirates. By chapter's end, Koby stands up to Alvida, and Luffy easily dispatches her with his strong-as-a-pistol punch. Luffy and Koby then set sail for the closest marine base. Koby to join the Marines, and Luffy to find a potential crewmate in the previously mentioned bounty hunter Roronoa Zoro. While about town, we learn that the townfolk are scared of not only Zoro, a violent killer, but also the Marine base's captain, a man named Axe Hand Morgan, who, you guessed it, has an axe hand. Luffy, undeterred, sets his sights on making Zoro his crewmate. We meet Roronoa Zoro publicly imprisoned on the Marine grounds. He's been captured, not for hunting pirates, but for killing a couple of vicious dogs that belong to the captain's son, Helmeppo, which is a strange name. At first it seems odd that the captain's son seems to have so much power in this situation, but we learn that Captain Axehand Morgan is acting like the town's dictator, ruling over his station with an iron fist, even going so far as to erect a giant statue of himself. Helmeppo, whom I can only describe as a dickhead, has promised Zoro that if the hunter can survive with no food for a month, then he'll let him live. This is of course a lie, and Zoro is to be executed in a few days. Luffy, of course, has to intervene and makes it his mission to save Zoro and have him join the crew. But first he has to find Zoro's swords. He runs roughshod all over the Marine base, destroys Morgan's statue, assaults Morgan's son, and finds 3 swords inside a Marine office. But in the courtyard, the firing squad has aimed their rifles to carry out Zoro's execution right then and there. It's here where we learn about Zoro's dream, a goal almost as ambitious and dangerous as Luffy's own. Zoro wants to become the world's greatest swordsman. In a flashback, Zoro is seen losing to a young girl at his dojo named Kuina. Kuina, the sensei's daughter, is an excellent swordsman who has beaten Two-Sword Zoro 2,000 times, despite the fact that Zoro can even beat the adults. However, after the fight, Kuina laments that someday Zoro will surpass her simply because she's a girl and is even starting to get breasts or something. The 2 kids make a pact. One day, one of them will become the world's greatest swordsman. And the next day, Kuina dies. Zoro takes up her sword along with his own, promises that he'll fulfill their dream for both of them. After a close call, Luffy finally frees Zoro, and the new pair of crewmates dispatch the Marines and defeat the evil Axe Hand Morgan. The Marines, now free from Morgan's rule, rejoice. The town is liberated from the corrupt captain, and Koby gets to live his dream of joining the Marines. Luffy, with his first crewmate aboard, sets out to make his way to the Grand Line. Just kidding, they have no navigator and are aimlessly wandering at sea. The final chapter in Volume 1 finds Luffy putting himself in trouble again and crash landing in a town nearby. Zoro follows in pursuit, but gets delayed by a trio of pirates who soon regret messing with the pirate hunter. The curiously dressed trio explains that they were conned out of their boat and treasure by a woman with extraordinary ability to read the patterns of the seas and the weather. We also learn of a new player in town named Buggy the Clown, a dangerous pirate who also has a devil fruit ability. As the chapter ends, Luffy runs into the woman who conned the trio of pirates, a cat burglar who only steals from pirates, named Nami. The first volume of One Piece is a pretty simple story about a joyful protagonist who sets out on the journey of his life. He makes friends along the way, but hasn't really explored the world at large. In fact, Oda, the author, has spent nearly equal time on flashbacks and origin stories than in quote-unquote real time. Our crew, or pair in this instance, has yet to face any real competition, and the stakes have been pretty low. But the book has plenty of fun moments, interesting world building, and good character work. Speaking of world building, in the opening pages of One Piece, we are told the most important event in the world's modern history, the execution of Gold Roger. During his execution, Roger inspired a generation of pirates to succeed him as the Pirate King. To some people, pirates are less like famous criminals and more like famous athletes. Luffy, an impressionable kid in a world full of pirates, will of course want to become a pirate. Roger's introduction is an enlightening moment that sets up not only our hero's motivation, but the world's entire focus. This scene is a world-building tool, a worldwide inflection point. Everyone and everything in the series has to be viewed through how they react to this moment and this goal. This is the thesis statement for the entire series, and there's a reason the anime opens up with it every episode. It's an effective page that makes sure the audience knows we are following the story of the future Pirate King. Speaking of the future King of the Pirates, let's talk about our series hero. Luffy is a relatively simple character that is reminiscent of other famous shonen heroes. He's goofy, gluttonous, reckless, and impossibly strong. It's easy to see that Oda was influenced by Goku in early Dragon Ball. There are two clear influences that we see in this first volume: Luffy's aesthetic and name Monkey, and One Piece's comedic tone. Oda is unafraid to be silly in both his writing and his art. You'll find an almost Looney Tunes-esque level of visual comedy that will get more pronounced as the series goes on. However, Luffy, and by extension One Piece, have something that other series don't have: a long-term goal with an end in mind. Luffy wants to find One Piece and become king of the pirates. Every major step he takes is made with that goal in mind. To reference an earlier point, everyone else in the adventure of One Piece exists in relation to that goal, whether they be support, competition, or opposition. Characters in other series have goals, sure, but none of them feel like they have the same level of endgame energy and focus like One Piece. But what do I mean by that? Let's look at Naruto, one of the big three Shonen Jump manga. Naruto wants to be Hokage, the leader of the Hidden Leaf Village. He wants respect. He wants to be acknowledged by his village due to the mistreatment he's received as a kid. He essentially wants to be president. It's a lofty and prestigious goal, sure, but it doesn't have the same level of direct competition as King of the Pirates. He's not fighting someone directly for that title, And if someone becomes Hokage before him, he can just succeed them, like presidents. Let's look at a similar anime character, Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. Ash dreams of becoming a Pokemon master. This goes even less specific than Naruto's. What does being a Pokemon master mean? It's just a fancy way of saying, I want to be good at this thing. And if we look a little wider, other characters like Eiichiro and Goku, they don't even have dreams or goals. The adventures are fun, and the series are good, but they don't have that same focus. None of these dreams have the same level of scale and urgency as Luffy's dream to be Pirate King. Remember, whoever finds One Piece becomes king of the pirates. As far as we know, there's no coming in second place. Like I mentioned earlier, the whole world now revolves around Gold Roger's edict, and the crew will have to compete with every pirate, marine, and bounty hunter that comes their way. Maybe even Shanks. Speaking of pirates, we do get a couple of crews to analyze in Volume 1. I love how the author, Oda, crafts and creates pirate crews throughout the series. Shanks and the red-haired pirates are the audience's first real look at pirates in the world of One Piece. They love to party and have fun, but know that the real world is full of violence and danger. What makes Shanks super interesting is how he reacts to violence and even physical humiliation. He laughs it off. This says so much about Shanks' character. His unwillingness to fight a dangerous man in the bar tells me he does not ask for violence. He values the safety of his crew far too much, which is kind of interesting because we do get a sense of how strong they are. But when a friend's life is in danger, good reason or not, Shanks is ready to throw hands. His introduction and the reveal of his lofty sacrifice tell us that nothing matters more than his friends and his crew. Let's contrast that with Alvida, a tough mountain of a woman who rules with an iron fist and an iron mace. Alvida is a needlessly violent pirate, and she actively harms her crew to maintain her image and her pride. It's a simple but effective tool to contrast Shanks and Alvida, and Oda is setting the expectation that being a pirate means different things to different people. There is no one blueprint for a pirate crew, something that proves truer and truer as the series goes on. Another early lesson in the One Piece universe is the introduction of Axe-Hand Morgan and the Marines. We learn from Kobe that Marines are expected to protect and serve their citizens, but at this naval-based town, absolute power has corrupted absolutely. The Pirates and Marines in Volume 1 are reminders that moving forward, good guys and bad guys cannot be sorted into simple pirate or marine terms. Luffy, however, seems pretty flippant about the people he meets along the way. He hears that the famous bounty hunter Zoro is strong and that he'll need a strong crew, but would only accept him into the crew if he's a good guy, despite Zoro's reputation as a stone-cold killer. Zoro, of course, is a stone-cold killer, but more out of necessity than anything else. His menacing presence and reputation are betrayed by his actions, saving a little girl and eating dirty food in order to make her feel better. I'm not a huge fan of Zoro's flashback with Kuina. It does give context to Zoro's dream, but with some cringy 90s dialogue and mistreatment of women. I would have loved to see a world where Kuina is out there, aiming to become the world's greatest swordsman. Don't worry, Zoro fans, we'll have plenty to talk about as the series goes on. Luffy and Zoro are a simple but powerful pair, both with simple but ambitious dreams. Luffy wants to find One Piece and be Pirate King, but we're not sure exactly how to get there. Zoro, on the other hand, wants to be the world's greatest swordsman, which means he might even have to take on this guy. Luffy and Zoro are still teenagers, 17 and 19 respectively, but they've got the tools to chase their dreams. What did you think of the first volume of One Piece? Did I miss anything noteworthy in my recap and review? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Next week, we'll talk about the mysterious clown-themed pirates that were hinted at in Volume 1 and learn more about this pirate thief named Nami. Thanks for watching. See you later.